Good morning. This is week 3 of yoga classes in the time of the coronavirus. Really, it's home practice in the time of the coronavirus, and I'm hoping that these videos are helpful for you in keeping yoga practice going. And I want to just reflect and call some attention today to why does this yoga practice help us feel better? And I have a quote here by Bessel van der Kolk, who is a psychologist, a psychiatrist, who has done a lot of work with trauma and has found physical activities of all kinds, including yoga, to be so helpful for survivors of trauma. He writes, one of the clearest lessons from contemporary neuroscience is that our sense of ourselves is anchored in a vital connection with our bodies. We do not truly know ourselves unless we can feel and interpret our physical sensations. We need to register and act on these sensations to navigate safely through life. And that's from a book called The Body Keeps the Score. And I certainly find myself during these days having to balance how much news am I getting with other activities that actually are going to help me ground myself, specifically ground myself in my body, and help me discover the vitality that really is the source of our resilience and the moving forward in life no matter what. There was a rather funny tweet by Preparara, who is a lawyer, former prosecutor in New York, and he tweeted, I'm beginning to second guess becoming a news addict. That he is someone who just always turns to the news as soon as he wakes up and so on. And I feel that way a little bit myself. I think it's important to follow the news, but again, I'm trying to balance that out. So let's today call attention, especially, we really do it in every yoga practice, but especially today to locating our awareness in our body, feeling sensation in our body to help us awaken our own vitality and our really quite natural ability to deal with adversity and obstacles. So let's begin just with a little sound vibration, chanting Om. Feel where you are on your seat. Maybe let's switch. Let's switch the cross of our legs. That always kind of wakes up the senses. And even rock a bit side to side. Feel your sitting bones. Try to come to both sitting bones. Try to come to the center of your sitting bones. So right now I'm feeling the front, feeling the back, coming to the center, lifting from there. I'm going to take my hands on my blankets. You can also take them on the floor and lift so that I feel from my armpits to my hips getting longer. I lifted the side ribs up. And stretch the arms up and keep the sense of upness as I bring my palms together in front of my heart. Let the eyes close. And feel your breath. Feel your breath, your inhalation, go all the way down to your sitting bones. Your exhalation flow through you. So we already crossed and uncrossed our legs. Let's stretch our legs forward again. Cross them back the first way. And just start with a little arm movements here. First, pull your fingers up, back towards you, and then make a fist and roll your knuckles down. Pull your fingers back towards you, roll your knuckles down. Pull your fingers back towards you, roll your knuckles down. Take your hands and interlace them, and just do a little roll, warming up your wrists, feeling the movement, that really rotary movement that your forearms, hands can do. And then change the interlace. What's the second side of your interlace? So from there to there, that's my second side today. And roll. You can change the direction of that roll. Then take your hands behind you, and you can lift up your shoulders for a moment. Then slide your shoulder blades down your back. Lift up your chest like we did earlier. And now stretch your legs forward and open out your toes. Pull your toes back towards you. Notice how that tends to firm up your knees when you do that. And then reach your toes away, pointing your foot, and pull the toes back, and point, and pull the toes back, and point. Do a little rotary movement of your feet. And now cross your right leg over your left. And if this is uncomfortable to you to do, you can just bring a chair and sit on the chair and do this sitting in the chair. And that usually makes it more accessible for people. And now I'm going to lace my fingers between my toes. That kind of forces the toes to spread. And I'm going to as I do that, just note that the toe bones are long. They travel all the way up the toe they travel all the way up to the metatarsal area. So these are the long, the toe is actually really separate from the next toe, other than ligaments, muscles, of course, connect them. But the bones themselves are separate up to the midfoot. So just have a sense of that, the long toes of your foot, and even trace each toe with your fingers. You can do this any way that you like, but just palpate and sense how long each toe is. So we don't often have a lot of, or take our awareness to our feet, other than if we're cleaning them, or cutting our toenails, or getting a pedicure. But it really is a kind of treat for the foot to do it. Now take your foot out and just feel the difference between both feet. You can wiggle them a little bit. Just feel that. Doesn't one feel sort of seen and cared for, like it's come alive a little bit? And then second side, lace the fingers in between the toes here. You could do that from either direction. Feels kind of good in either direction. And then trace the toe, the long toe, its full length, each toe. You can even move the bones a little bit, pillow bones. and then stretch the foot out. And now make a real clear dandasana shape here. Danda is a stick. So make your, or staff. So make your legs like staffs. Firm the knees. Look down at your knees and see, are the muscles active right above the knees? Think about descending your thigh bones down, like the top of the thigh bones going to the back of the thighs. And then again, press your hands down, slide your shoulder blades down your back as you lift your chest, as you lift your side ribs up. Try not to push hard forward from your low back to get this lift. That is a way of starting an extension of the spine, but some of us tend to overdo it. I do. So instead, just an image of going directly up with your rib cage can help you not overdo in the low back. Keep all these actions. Release your arms, take them overhead, descend your thigh bones down more, go up through the pinky sides of your arms more. Big hands, big feet, and release. And now let's put our blanket to the sides. I'm going to just check that my camera is still going. And let's turn onto our hands and knees. And be aware of the whole palm on the floor. You can do a little sort of walking through the hand to help you feel that. Even walking around in a circle. So a lot of the things I do is, you all know who have been coming to my class, they do come from exploration. A lot of them are explorations. My teacher, Carrie O'Worko, so I want to always make sure I credit her. And this walking of the hands around is one of those. And we want to try to feel the full palm on the floor here in our down dog. The thumb side of the palm tends to become light. Bring your upper arm bones in as you root down through the thumb side. Curl your toes under. The toes, I hope, already feel a little bit closer in your awareness now after what we did. And lift up into down dog. Lift your sitting bones up high first. Lift your heels up high to take your sitting bones high, high, high. And then start to move your thighs back and reach your heels back. Keep pressing the thumb side of your palms, firming in your upper arms. And pull your heels back. And slowly lower your knees down. Try to touch them down at the same moment. Widen out your knees and sit back in Virasana. Walk your hands forward. Your whole back lengthen out. And feel your breath go to your back body. Let go any hardness in your abdomen. Come on up. Okay, I was just, so some of you may want a blanket under your knees for this next thing. So this is just padding for my knees. And you can take even more padding than I've taken here. And before we go into our next thing, since we'll be supporting on our arms for a little bit more, let's actually move our shoulder blades, dropping the upper spine down, lifting the spine up, dropping it down, lifting it up. And then keep the shoulder blades broad on the back here. Be aware of, are your shoulder blades drifting towards your ears? Try to keep them really planted on the back, even moving more towards the hip side. And we're going to do a hip action here, pulling the knee in. Actually, I'm going to turn around and show you this action on my right side first. So we can all do the right side first. You pull the knee in, take the thigh out to the side. Now lift up your foot and you're inwardly rotating your leg. Take it back behind you and pull it through. Then reverse that. Take the leg back behind you and try not to drop your belly down and arch your back, but just keep a sense of the abdomen is still attracted to the back body. So you're stabilizing through your torso. Go out to the side. Your standing leg is doing work here too. Lift your knee as you let your foot drop down, and that's an external rotation. Come in and return the leg. Then let's do that on the second side. Lift the left, bring the left leg forward, then lift it to the side. Turn, inwardly rotate, lifting the foot, dropping the knee. Coming back behind you. Coming through and then reversing that. Stabilize through your torso. Try not to be swinging your hip from side to side. That means the left standing hip has to work as well. Just sort of feel, what do you have to do to keep your hips from swinging from side to side? Externally rotate. Bring the leg back and through. And down. Let's just repeat that one more time. Right knee in. Out to the side. Internally rotate. Lifting the foot, dropping the knee. Coming back behind you, keep the abdomen supported, pull the knee in, come back, go to the side with the leg internally rotate, then externally rotate, and back in and down. Somewhere near my shoulders tend to go towards my ears, so I'm keeping that sense of the shoulder blades planted on the back. It's really like I'm really getting the support through my chest rather than straining in the neck. Last side. Knee in, leg out to the side. Foot up, back behind, through, back behind, out to the side, internally, let's try that again. Internally rotate out to the side, externally rotate, and forward and back. And let's do another down dog. Lift your hips up and back. Let's even do a little, bring your feet together and do a little walking of your heel down towards the ground here, just to get a sense of stretching your calf and your Achilles down and really moving through your foot. Try to feel the foot as you reach the heel down. Try not to let the arch drop down, but keep a sense that the inner heel and the outer heel are reaching equally. Don't collapse your inner ankle down as you do it. And then lift the heels up high again. Widen your feet a little bit. Reach your heels back and down. Lengthening your calf towards your heels. And lower your knees back down. Then widen them, bring your toes together, and come back into forward virasana or child's pose. And take a few breaths here. Let go any tension in the eyes or in the neck. Where are your feet? Where are your hands? All right, let's now move to our back And we're going to have a strap and a block nearby. So lie down on your back with the legs bent. Open your palms up to the ceiling, let your shoulder blades release onto the floor. Can you feel your shoulder blades wide on the floor? And feel the soles of your feet big on the floor. Take an easy lift up of the thigh and release down. And now press into both your feet. Lift your sitting bones up towards your knees. I'm not really lifting my chest here. I'm doing all the work with the backs of my legs and my hips. So my spine is just kind of going along for the ride there. It's really more of a leg action. And release. Now I'm going to bring my right leg in, and you can hold behind the thigh, especially if you have any knee situation, you don't want to be pressing your shin down, or you can just hold your shin either way, but really pull the thigh into the chest, and then stretch the left leg up, and then reach out through the foot, so you're making an arc. Also, I'm noticing my shoulder blades are lifting. Also, again, slide your shoulder blades down your back. And now, as you reach your foot out and down, imagine you're creating length from your ribs along the front of your hip joint, along the front of the fold of your hip, all the way out to your foot. And then fold the leg back in. That's going to be easier for you to see on the other side. So let me do it once on the other side. So reaching out and down, and it's this length. So now I'm taking my awareness to this length, from the spine down to the thigh. So let's repeat that 5 times on each side. I sort of switch sides, but you're just still on your right leg folded in, left leg reaching out. So this should be your 4th time. And bring both legs back to the floor. Again, return to this, I'm trying to remember what they call this in physical therapy, restorative rest position. I think maybe it's just rest position. Anyway, I find it restful. Feel here the difference between the 2 sides of your spine, or just feel whatever you feel. And then let's go to the second side. So reach the leg out. Do firm the knee here. Get the sense that the whole leg is lengthening in space, and you're making length from the rib cage across along the abdomen down to the thigh. Fold the leg back in on the way up. So we'll do 5 repetitions here. So this is an exercise for the psoas muscle, and I find for me it really helps organize my psoas. It helps it soften, it helps it fold, it helps it lengthen with more ease. There are something like more than 30 fibers or 30 different muscles that make up this long muscle that travels along the side of the spine down to the thigh bone. So I'm also feeling here this sense that this whole side body is in contact with the floor. The side of the back body is in contact with the floor as I reach the leg. I'm not trying to get the heel to the ground here. Bring both feet down, and again, what do you feel? What is that sensation you get from that? Maybe something in the back body, or in the belly, or behind the belly, which is where the psoas actually is. Now let's straighten out the legs. Take the arms up and over for lying down, mountain pose. Reach out through your feet. Reach your arms over your head. Bend the legs again. And now place your fingers together behind your hamstring muscle and reach up through your heel. Then point your toe and bend the leg back down. So you're going up through the heel, pointing through the foot like we did earlier, and pulling the toe back. And, oops, go up with the heel, point the foot. So there's like a little bit of a cycle there. Then reverse that. Go up through with a pointed foot, flex the foot, and pull the foot back down with a flexed foot. My hands are kind of slipping today because I had to moisturize them having washed them once again. So up with a pointed foot, pull the heel down. With a pointed foot, pull the heel down. And then go ahead and just, again, pull the thigh way in towards the ribs. And release. Wipe the moisturizer off your hands a little bit if you're having any moisturizer problem. And we're starting here with a pointing up. No, I got that wrong. We're starting here with a heel up and a pointing down. And a heel up and point through and down. I don't know, I find this very fun. The little cycling of the foot. Like this one foot is going on a little bicycle ride all by itself. And then point up and pull the heel down. Point up and pull the heel down. And last time. And then pull the thigh in. And whether you start to actually feel your thigh on your ribs or not, become aware of what is that space there. What is the space between the thigh and the ribs? Because as the years go by in your practice, you may feel the thigh gets more acquainted with the ribs again. Well, now that I've said that, let's do this is a half of a baby pose. The Iyengar method doesn't really name this baby pose, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that because that feeling of being able to reach your feet and the thighs close to the ribs, that's what a baby does all the time. So we're not going to try to chew on our toes like a baby, but see if you can feel the thigh coming to the side of the ribs and the knee heading down to the floor. And I've got the other leg bent, so the pelvis is rolled back here. I'm trying to keep the sole of the foot pointed upwards. And second side, so you hold the outer foot if you can. You could also get a belt, a tight belt on this and hold the belt wherever you need to. And I'm letting the thigh come to the side of my ribs. My knee go down towards the floor with the sole of my foot pointing up. And I can even let my elbow bend out to the side. Some people seem to get their elbow stuck inside. Try to get the elbow going outside, even if it really widens out to the side there. And release. Stretch your legs down, stretch your arms up. Notice how when you go into a full Tadasana on the floor, and this will vary from body to body, but the natural curves of the spine are that the lumbar is a little raised at that point. When I reach my arms towards the floor, I even tend to lift it a little bit more. But either way, I'm not going to keep feeling that seal of the low back to the floor when I'm stretching my arms straight, my legs straight. So now we're going to press the left leg down and fold the right leg in. So in the same way that when we were, just forget that for a moment. Just keep the press of the left leg down as you fold the right leg in and loop a strap over your foot. And I like to make a loop where I can take my hands inside the loop, but you could certainly just, to do that, you have to make the loop the right length. You can also make a longer loop and hold on to it like this. Either way that you like to hold the loop, do hold it in two hands for this first part. And the holding it in two hands helps me organize my shoulders. So here my shoulders are lifting up off the ground. They're protracting. I want to move my arm bone into my shoulder socket and take the shoulders down to the ground. Slide my shoulders down again towards my hips. Now I'm going to keep awareness in my left foot here, reaching out through the inner heel, the outer heel, firming my left knee, descending the left thigh, moving the front of the left thigh to the back of the left thigh. And then I'm also doing that with my right leg. So I'm moving the front of the right thigh towards the back of the right thigh. And as I do that, the muscles around the knee firm. And there's even a sense that the back of the leg, the back of the knee starts to open. The hamstring gets wider and longer. Longer may be the more accessible thing to feel first. Now take the strap and just your right hand, reach your left arm out to the side and bring your right leg to the side. Keep that feeling, that movement of the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh, and add to that a movement of the outer hip towards the foot. Now, the tendency here is for the weight of the leg to pull one completely over to the side. So bring your leg back up, and this time put a block to the side of your hip. I've got it about an inch out to the side, but one could have it right up against too. At any rate, what it's going to do is catch the outer right hip, and where it's touching the outer right hip, I want to pull in. I'm drawing back in from the outer right foot into the outer right thigh, and then moving the outer right thigh towards the left foot. Be soft in your eyes, in your throat, in your face. Bring the leg back up. Switch hands, open the arm to the other side. I'm only going to come a little ways right now over to the side, getting a stretch on the outer hip, outer leg. I'm resisting going into a twist right now. Come up, take the belt off, hold your leg up in the air. Press the left leg down, reach your right leg up in the air, then go out in space and down. Take your block to the other side, fold your left leg in, loop your strap onto your foot, organize your shoulders, arm bones into the shoulder socket, slide your thighs, your shoulder blades down towards your hips. Press the right leg down. Reach out through the right foot. Move the front of the left thigh towards the back of the left thigh. Take your strap into one hand, Stretch your right arm out to the side now as you take your left leg to the side. So let the block teach you the action in the leg that you would be doing if there were no block there. And we will be doing it again with no block. And the action is to draw along the outer thigh into the outer left hip. It's like you're moving the thigh bone into the hip, drawing the thigh bone into the hip. And that actually helps stabilize the body. It helps me stay grounded in my right leg. It helps me stay soft in my abdomen. There's a little activation to the torso, but I'm not hard in my abdomen right now. And then bring the leg back up, switch hands, and go a little bit to the side, enough that you're getting a little lengthening on the outer leg. You're not going into a twist here. My left hip is lifting up just a little bit, but really, if anything, I'm sort of pulling that left hip back down to the ground to get the stretch on the outer leg. Come back up, keep holding the left leg up, open out your arm, and reach your leg out in space and down. Take your arms over your head, reach through your feet. We're going to place the block with both legs up, place the block on the knees. And for this, you will feel your low back really on the floor, sealed to the floor. We did this last week. Press the elbows into the knees. The shoulders are rolling up off the ground here. And the knees press the elbows into the block, the knees into the block, and squeeze the block. And release. And now turn the block long ways between the right elbow and the right knee. Take your left arm up. And this is a review of what we did last week. We'll be adding one more movement onto this. But so I'm prioritizing keeping my low back down and stabilizing through the whole torso as I move on my left side, as I press with my right elbow and my right knee. Change sides. So now, if you were to touch my abdomen, it would be hard. I'm really using my abdominal muscles here. And they're activated, they're working. And take the block, release the legs back down. So you could do that 3 to 5 repetitions on each side. Let's actually put the block on the belly for a moment to really let go of any hardness after having activated the abdominals. So having a strong core doesn't mean we hold our core hard all the time. If anything, we want to feel a kind of fluid connection to the core. Now we're going to be doing more of a cross. We will actually be getting at the abdominals across the abdomen by holding the block between the right elbow and the left knee, but repeating a similar movement of arm overhead, leg reaching out, but now it's contralateral. It's going crossways on the body. Breathe as you do this. I like breathing in as the arm and the leg reach. Exhale as they in. But you really could do it the opposite way too. There, I just switched it up and did it the opposite way. Okay, let's go to the other side. Keep the pressure of your left elbow and right knee squeezing the block. And take your feet down, take your arms down. Now put the block in between your knees. Squeeze the block in between your knees as you lower down and lift your legs up. Actually, let's hold the sides of the mat as we do that a few times. Roll your arm bones down to the ground. Slide your shoulder blades down towards your hips as you do this press with the hands. Now, keep your low back on the floor, widen your arms out. And let's do a little bit of a circling with the block. But make sure you're keeping your low back down in the back of your pelvis, touching the floor. Bring awareness there to the low back and the back of the pelvis. So go in both directions. You keep that circle pretty small. And now, let's take the knees a little bit to the side. Reach back with your, a little bit to the left side. Reach back with your right arm. Then roll your back onto the ground, still holding the block. So you're going into a little twisting action here. And rolling back with the block. And a little twist to the side. Roll your back onto the floor. So each time you come through center, you are trying to iron out your back on the floor. And come back center, remove the block, release your legs down, and now, we're gonna move the block and the belt out of the way, and then come back on our backs, and just stretch your arms out wide, take your legs down, and now we're going to do a belt-free Supine Gustasana, and add a little extra pose in there, a little extra movement, and this is again a sequence from Cardio Worko. We've done it in class, and some of you have done it in class. So this is my legs, just moving my legs. I'm not going to use my arms at all. I press my left leg down. I reach my right leg up. I want to keep that sense of pulling the outer knee towards the outer hip as I come to the side. I come up, and now I'm going to let that leg go all the way over to the side. And now I'm letting my left leg turn to the outer side, and I'm pressing it down to the floor. And there's a way in which I'm even trying to lift my inner right leg up to the ceiling. That kind of helps me stay organized in my hips. Come back and down. Second side, press the right leg down. Lift the left leg up. Come over to the side. Reach back through your left arm as you do this. And press your outer right leg down into the floor. And come back and down. Now we're going to add to that by coming up, out to the side, come back around, come into the twist, press the outer left leg down, and now keep reaching out through your right foot until your left arm comes up off the floor. Even let the arm bend and just flow over your head. And keep rolling until you're on your belly. You'll be a little bit off your mat at this point. And then pull your forearms underneath you. Slide your shoulder blades down your back here. And extend out through this, it's your left leg on the floor. Lay back down. Take your arms over your head. And now come out of this by taking your right hand and coming up over your head. And your hip will follow. It's like the arm and the shoulder are leading the torso around and spiraling around. And now I come back into arms are on the floor again. And I'm going to twist with my left leg out to the side. And then I come up and down. Let's go to the second side. Press your right leg down. Lift your left leg up. Come over to the side. The left shoulder starts to lift up. I let the elbow bend. And the arm circles over the head. And I come to my belly. Then I pull the forearms in. Lift the shoulder blades up. I'm going to slide the shoulder blades down my back so I'm not stuck here. Sliding the shoulder blades down my back. Lifting the chest up. Lengthening back through my right leg. And then I come down. My arm and shoulder lead me back. That's the left arm and the left shoulder. And I come back into the twist. Extend through your legs. Press your outer right leg down. And come up. And release down. Let's do that. One more time on each side. Let's take the leg up. Right leg up. To the side. Come across. Lift up. Lower down. Bend the arm. You're in a big twist. Press your outer left leg down. Bring the leg up. And return. Roll over onto your side now and come into another down dog. So the whole body has had a kind of waking up now. You'll compare this down dog to the first down dog. And then walk your feet forward. Move your chest forward. Take your hands to your hips and swing up. We're going to do the pose Uttanasana now. There's two variations I'm going to show. If you have a chair that you can turn upside down like this, you can use that chair. But if you don't, I'll show you a variation after that. I'm going to fold my mat up over the bottom of the chair and then place my hands on the feet of the chair and my heels on the lip of the chair. And you can also put the heels full on the chair. It's going to be a bit more of a stretch if you do that. But if you don't feel much of a stretch with your heels up on the lip, you just lift up your feet higher and they'll be more at an angle. Now, my hips want to go back towards the wall here. I think it's kind of reassuring to have the wall there, and you can be even a little closer to the wall than I am. But to get this stretch through my calves and my Achilles, I actually want to bring my hips away from the wall. So I'll get a better stretch if I step my feet up a little higher on the chair. And again, I want to try to reach the heels down evenly between a reach of the inner heel, a reach of the outer heel. And I want to lift my arches as I do it. When a tight Achilles will tend to depress the arch downward. So I'm actively lifting my arch. What helps me do that is to think of lifting my inner ankle bones up as I move my hips forward. I can even go a little side-to-side action here, meaning bend my left leg, reach my right heel down, bend my right leg, reach my left heel down. Did I say that before? Bend left, reach right. But again, I want to try to keep that lift of the arch, reaching with the outer heels down as much as the inner heels as I do that. And you can also walk your hands down the chair here, but the point here really isn't how far down I go with my head or my chest. I really am keeping my awareness with the movement of the calves towards the heel, lengthening down through the whole back of the leg. And so, especially if you have any sort of a back injury, you can say keep your chest up and just think about moving your chest forward, moving your hips forward, sliding your shoulder blades back to back. Okay, then come up from that, hands on the top of the chair, step carefully off, and you may hear a little pinging of your chair, and we'll just lengthen the sticky mat back out again. And now take your chair up. I wanted to show, if you don't have a chair that works turning upside down like this, a way to get that action in your feet is just near a wall. You can stay upright and place the balls of the feet on a rolled blanket and then reach the heels down. And then you'll notice your hips will want to go back, so you move the buttocks forward. And I want to improve this camera angle here. Okay, all right, now we'll put the chair at the wall. This is a repetition from last week. So I'm going to practice balancing on one leg here. Actually, let's practice. Before we do that, let's practice with a hand on the wall. So for those of you who standing on one leg is a balance challenge, this is good practice. And try not to be leaning onto this hand, but it's really there to help you just keep the confidence of that you are keeping your balance through your legs, through your hips, through your awareness of where you are in space. So it's almost touching, not touching the wall. This is a repeat of what we did earlier. The knee comes up, leg comes out to the side. Internal rotation, behind and through. And I'm trying to stabilize in the hips, not rolling my hips as I do it. Internal rotation, external rotation, forward and back. Let's do the other side. Forward, out to the side, internal rotation. Come back behind me, forward and back to the side, and internal rotation, external rotation, back and forward. So that works both the leg that's moving and the leg that is standing. And that is sort of good preparation for lifting the leg and placing it. Try not to swing the hips to the side as we take the foot up onto the chair. And then come forward into a warrior one pose. Arms out to the side, and a big V, and over your head. Lift the back ribs up, reach up through the fingers, streaming up through your fingers. And now we're going to put the hands on the chair, take a little hop forward, drop the knee down. So here I'm getting both a big flexion in this right leg. Again, getting that feeling of the thigh moving close to the ribs. And I'm getting an opening across the left frontal hip. And you can use pillows stacked up if you don't have a blanket. You can, if you don't have a bolster. You can even roll up a few blankets to create a bolster. And come up and enjoy this moment of the balance and placing the leg back. I think I got a little close to the chair on that one, so I'm going to move a little bit back and bring the leg up and through. And then come into lunge. My back foot turns a little bit out as I come into the warrior one pose. That helps me keep the heel on the ground in this variation. Arms out to the side, into a V, over the head and stay. Lift the back ribs up, stream up through your fingers, lift your chest, look up. Again, I want to try to get that outer heel connecting downwards. Come up. Hands on the chair now as I hop the back foot forward, drop the right knee down. So I'm allowing this left leg to fold in, thigh getting close to, and you could have higher. You could also add height to your bolster if this is too much of a stretch, or it's too much for your leg. And I'm contemplating, enjoying this opening on the right frontal hip now. And come up. I love that one because gravity is doing so much right there. Now, we move our chair away from the wall. Up. And we're going to do our second Uttanasana. And this one, I'm going to get the back of the chair into the frontal hips. You can add a little softener there. And this would work with any chair, as the one we just did. You don't have to have a yoga chair for these two. So you're going to put your feet as wide as you need to get the back of this chair into the fold now of your frontal hip. So we were opening the frontal hip and folding. Now we're opening them again. Now we're folding them again. So for me, because I have shorter legs, my feet are right up against the chair. I think for most of you, your feet will be a little away from the chair. For me, my feet could even be in the chair. I'm going to go actually in the chair today. And first I'm going to be in the upright Uttanasana position. I'm not even satisfied with that. All right, I am on the outside. I'm in the upright Uttanasana position, sliding my shoulder blades towards my hip, moving my chest forward. And this is actually a moment in a forward bend that has a little back bend in it. That I let my thoracic spine come into my back. And I move my chest forward. Then I'm going to let myself fold over the chair. And accept that pressure at the frontal hip. Almost like a massage of the hip flexors. And as I do this, I keep grounding down towards my feet, firming my knees. Soften the abdomen here. One could actually, depending on the size of your torso, it's going to feel different for you. If you're a taller person, it might be nicer for you to have a block to put your head on. So the block can be resting on the chair, like so. That might help you find a nicer place to rest your head. All right. If your head comes nowhere near a block or near the chair, just stay in the upright position. So that was a chair-supported Uttanasana. And this pose is Parshva, side Uttanasana. Uttanasana means extreme stretching pose or upward stretching pose. And this is the side, the flank stretching pose. So I'm putting my right foot under the chair, and I'm taking my left foot behind me. It's a little turned out, so it's my outer left heel that's at the wall. And this is a balancing moment here when I let my hands come off the chair and lift my chest up. But the wall's right there. So I hope even for those of you who, this is a hard pose to balance in because the legs are so close together. But you can widen your legs as a way to help with the balance. Lift your chest, look up, reach out and come forward. Take your thighs back, take your hips back. And again, try to work the feeling here. The front of the thigh, move into the back of the thigh. Press your whole right foot down. Try to feel the right ball mound. Ground down through the right ball mound. Firm your knees. Take your left hand on the center of the chair. Take your right hand to your hip and turn to the right. Keep your left thigh going back. So you're really stabilizing in your hips here. Now take your hands up on the top of the chair. Lengthen forward, pull your hips back. So the arms on the top of the chair help me keep my front body long here. And hands on the seat of the chair, hands on your hips. And then come up. Turn your feet forward. Turn your feet to the side. That's one way to come out, where it's not so much of a balance challenge. Left foot under the chair. Right heel at the wall. Hands on your hips. Hands up. Lift your chest. Look up. Come out and forward as you take your hips back. Move the front of the thighs to the back of the thigh. Ground down through your left big toe wall mound. The hips sometimes want to swing out. Not sometimes. They tend to want to swing out to the left. Keep a connection from the outer knee. You're drawing the thigh bone into the hip here. Sorry, I want to be here first. So we're here first, doing all those actions. Then we place the right hand more towards the center of the chair and turn to the side. Rolling the left arm bone back, bringing the right side ribs around. Keep moving your right thigh back. So I'm kind of resisting with my hips here. Come around now, take your arms to the top of the chair. I was kind of digging that, I guess. I'm looking forward to that on this side. And take your hands to the seat of the chair. Take your hands to your hips. Swing up. You can turn to the side to come out of that. And then step your feet back together. Turn your chair now. I'm going to do a little bit more twisting here. Widen your legs. So we can twist in the chair in all kinds of ways. Sometimes we sit to the side in the chair, but this one I'm taking a big open, wide legs. If this is too much of a stretch for you, raising the chair up is fine. Like putting a block there, that might decrease the stretch and make it more doable for you. Or it's also fine to just step inside the chair today. Like so, and widen your knees out on the chair this way. So either way is great. Or any of those ways is great. And the reason I'm choosing to do that this way is just because it's, once again, it's going to really stabilize. It's going to give me a lot more awareness in my hips. Stretch the arms up. Turn towards the right. Take your right hand to the seat of the chair, your left hand to the top, and turn. Stringing your awareness back to your left foot on the floor. Ground down through that left foot. Sense, feel through that left foot. You may become aware of the whole left leg as you do that. Come to center and turn to the left. Stream your awareness back down to your right foot as you turn. Breathe. And come center. I'm going to do another twist at the wall. That one was like a Baddha Vajrasana in the chair. And this is called Marichiasana. I think you can see me okay. You should remember this from class. Let me just show the position I'm going to be in. So I'm going to be like this at the wall. Don't you move your chair. I'm going to put my chair back at the wall. And then my left hand will come on my right knee. Right hand will come on the wall. So right knee is on the chair. Left hand is on the right knee. And turn towards the wall. Breathe in. Press down through your left foot and then turn. So again, there's that quality of streaming the awareness back through yourself. Not just where you're going, but also this rooted back to where you're coming from. And second side. Right hand on the left knee. Left hand on the wall. And his standing legs are Tadasana leg. Press down through that leg. Lift up your side ribs, exhale, and turn. So when I say lift up the side ribs, I mean this area here. So that is all leading up to this final pose, which is a standing standing Padangustasana. And I'm now going to put my blanket on the top of the chair again and put it at the wall. And that gives it a little, makes more of a little shelf for my foot. Retrieve your belt. And now make your belt as long a loop as you can make it. And we will hold the belt this way now. And we're going to go through that moment. It is a balancing pose here. To lift the leg, to support through the hips as you lift the leg, to take the foot up. I'm a little far away. And if that just feels too balance scary or balance precipitous, because when we do that one in my studio, we often hold these ropes, but you don't have these ropes at home, so instead we're using the strap. So if it feels too balance difficult for you, just forget the strap, put your chair close to the wall, have your hands at the wall, and then lift the leg this way. Right? So that's the alternative to do this stretch. And then if the balance is feeling good, you can stretch your arms up over your head. So do the next poses that way if being in the middle of the room feels too precipitous. We want it to be precipitous just enough, but not feeling like you're going to tumble over the chair. Right, so lift the leg up, supporting your left hip as the right leg comes up. Reach the foot to the wall, and if, I don't know if you can tell, but I've moved a little closer so I'd be more upright in my standing leg. And then I'm going to catch the strap on the right foot. You don't have to have a strap for this. You can do it without the strap. But the strap helps me connect my hands, my shoulders to the foot. I slide my shoulders down my back. I lift my chest up. I press the foot into the strap, into the wall. And now again, I want to find that action of the front of the thigh moving towards the back of the thigh here. Then release the strap. Reach your arms up. Root down through your standing foot. Lengthen on the front of that left hip. Open up your arms, balance as you take your leg back. Or put your hands back on the wall behind you. Second side. So secure in your hips, reach the foot up, catch the foot with your strap, press into your standing foot, press into your right foot. Move the front of your left thigh, the back of your left thigh. Slide your shoulder blades down your back, lift your chest. Release your strap, reach your arms up. Now see if you can alight your leg off the wall and return. Now we'll go to the side. Lift the leg first to the chair seat and then take it up to the top of the chair. You might have to adjust your distance from the wall again. Loop your strap over your foot, or do it with no, if the balance is tricky, just forget the strap. Now, I have to remember the action from the floor, pulling from my outer knee into my outer right hip. There's even a movement of taking that outer right hip down towards the foot. Shoulder blade down. This whole right buttock area down. A drawing from my outer right knee into my outer right hip. Root down through your left foot. Press your left big toe ball down. Roll your left arm. Sweep it over your head. Just enjoy the geometry of this pose. Release the strap, take the foot back to the chair first, alight, and back. Second side, alight, try not to wobble hips, but support in this standing hip as you turn the leg out to the side. And support in this standing hip as you take the foot up. And you can kind of let everything fold over as you take your strap. Press down into your right foot. Draw your outer left thigh into your hip. Move your whole left buttock down towards your right foot. Knee, release the strap, alight off the wall, back to the chair, alight off the chair, and back. Okay, you may have had enough. You're welcome to repeat one of those, or we're going to do the last version, which is a twist. This is Utthita Padangusthasana 3. So I go through the stages I did before, and this time I am taking the strap into one hand, and I'm going to actually reach a little bit closer to the foot, even if it means I'm like leaning over towards my foot. Then as I come up, there's real resistance to that foot. I'm pressing the foot against the strap. I'm drawing the leg into the socket here. I'm resisting with this back thigh, front of the left thigh to the back of the left thigh, and I turn to the side. Now, if you get enough of a turn that I often, doesn't always open up for me, but if you feel enough of the turn coming that you can extend the arm back in the wall, room behind you, do that, or just keep your hand on your hip. This hip may also tend to rise up, draw in at this hip, go down. And release. Light in 2 stages. Pull close to the foot, hand on your hip, root down through your right foot. So I'm already creating kind of tension with the strap, between the foot and the strap, so that I am using my arm here. There's a binding there between the foot and the hand, even by means of the strap. And so my arm is helping me turn here. I'm going to wrap my right side ribs around, take my left upper arm bone back so my chest opens to the side. And bend the knee, light the foot. Okay, let's just put the hands on the chair now and do a little, what we'll call it a version of chair down dog. Pulling your hips back, moving the front of the thighs to the back of the thighs. And taking the chair away and getting 2 blocks. So we're going to end with our block Setubandha, bridge pose. And you measure the distance to the wall in Dandasana, our staff pose. Kind of nice to revisit that at the end of class. So lift up your chest, straighten your legs, pressing the whole foot into the wall. Dandasana. Now I let my legs fold in, I bring my heels in, and then I shift my hips towards my heels. And that gets me about the right distance from the wall for the brick Setubandha. So we're going to lift up a few times before trying to place the block. I'll have my block within reach, but I'm not going to go for it right away. I'm first going to press my feet, lift up my hips. So I'm working a lot in the backs of the legs here, but now I'm also going to lift my chest more. So I roll my arm bones down, lift my chest, rise up. So I'm lofting up in my chest, lofting up in my hips. And come back down. Might want to even crawl my hands a little closer to my heels, roll my arm bones down again, and lift the chest, lift the hips. And come back down. So this time, third time, lift up, get as high, sort of best case lifting, and then place the block either at the high angle or the mid angle, if that seems right for you today. And then again, roll the upper arm bones, take the feet to the wall. Actually, if you can, it is nice to catch the arms behind the block, lacing your fingers behind your back, place the feet at the wall, and then extend your legs into the wall. The block might tip back a little bit. If your feet aren't quite at the wall, put your feet back down on the ground And you can either do the whole thing over again, or you can just lift up your hips and slide the block into the wall a little bit. So you can fill around with the block. So now I'm a little too close to the wall and my block's tipping, but that's maybe nice for you to see what that looks like. I'm going to move a little away from the wall now. So once you're in your pose, keep the movement of your upper arm bones down. You soften your neck, soften your eyes, and your jaw. Through the length of your legs, also feel across the frontal hip bones a lengthening out. As though your legs started in your ribs. You can stay there longer. I'm going to come out of it because we're at the end of our time. And to come out, lift the hips up, place the block flat. Rest there a moment. So just in case something tightened up in your low back, stopping in this midway landing is a nice way to help things soften and lengthen there again. Then lift up and come all the way down. Put your feet on either side of the block at the wall. And as you straighten your legs, you'll get a tug down your whole back body. For me, that means I have to release my shirt. And you can take Shavasana like this with the feet on either side of the block. I rather like this. I feel like I'm planted into the wall. But if you prefer to be in the middle of the room, do that. If it feels better to you to have a bolster under your knees or roll a blanket under your knees, do that. And let everything push away to the side so that your hands aren't having to push up against anything. Let your arms float a little bit away from your side body. And let go of the weight of your legs. Let go of the weight of your arms. Let your eyes be soft. Your jaw release. Let go in your throat. Let go of the fibers at the back of your neck so that the back of your neck feels long. Feel the movements of your breath. Feel your feet. Feel your hands. Feel that the breath moves through every cell of you. Receive that breath. can stay here longer. When it's time to come up, extend your exhalation and deepen your inhalation. Fold your legs in and roll to your side. Take a moment on your side to feel